Alright, so we're going to talk about God's answers for anxiety. We are talking about the 12 principles for being renewed. It is written in Ephesians that God's will is that you have a renewed mind. You have a renewed mindset. You're renewed. That's what He actually wants. And so we've been reading these 12 principles and have it off to the side here so I can read the most valuable information. I don't want to just like quote it from memory, so I have it out here because it's just really, really powerful stuff. And let's go with it. So God's answers for anxiety. Number 3. It is not the will of God for me to be anxious or depressed. It is not His will for you to be anxious or me for me to be anxious or depressed. It's not His will. Jesus said in John 14:27, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you." That's the part I like. My peace I give unto you, not as the world gives, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. When I first read that it is not God's will for me to be anxious, it is not in His heart for me to be depressed, it actually breaks God's heart to see His creation depressed and especially His own children when they are just broken. Like a good parent, when a parent sees their children like in pain, they're in suffering, it's just a dreadful, dreadful thing. I have a I have two nieces, and one of them is a newborn, and she had some terrible gas, and she was just having some trouble with it, and I could feel her stomach, and it was just like it was really firm, and I felt so bad that this little helpless baby was just crying and crying, and you can tell that she was very uncomfortable from all that gas, and it was just breaking. It breaks your heart, just when you see stuff like that. How much more when, God's creation is at a desperate, desperate need, a desperate point in their life, in their world, and where, you know, he wants you to cry out to him. He wants you to know that it's not His will for you to be anxious. It's not His will for you to be depressed. People with clinical classic depression on antipsychotic medications have been completely freed from depression and freed from their medications. Um, they started out slowly, and they just were able to apply these principles, and they were completely cured. And it's all based on the love of God and knowing His promises and just reminding yourself daily and day in, day out that God really, really cares for you. Because when you know God's will and you're not guessing as to what His will is, if you try to imagine what they are, then you're not you're playing you're playing with fire. You really can't do that. It's like you gotta know. You just have to know it. And so with that, I just hope that you're encouraged that it is not God's will for you to be depressed or anxious, and that Jesus wants you to have peace. He gives you His peace that He has forever. He wants to give it to you. And the way you receive that peace is you simply open up and say, God, I need you. God, I just need your help. Like a buddy of mine the other day, I he reached out to me, and he was in a really dark place in his life, and he's like, can I come to church with you? And 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 I was like, out of nowhere, really. And I said, yeah, sure, absolutely, you can come to church. Yeah, yeah. So I went, I picked him up, and that day, like, he raised his hand so fast to give his heart to the Lord. And he shared information with me that is just, it's very personal with him. but I won't share anything in that in his past, but he definitely was in a place where he was looking for somebody to care for him. He needed God, and he was all in. He says, "I'm all in. I want Jesus in my life. I just, you know, everybody needs to have that at least once a week. When somebody comes to you and just says, I just need Jesus. When you make yourself, when you put yourself out there, when you put yourself out there, that's how he knew that I was going to church. I put myself out there on social media. I put out my beliefs and that I go to church, and he knew it. He had it in the back of his mind, and all he did was call out to God and says, God, I need help. I need help. I need help. I need you to help me. And it was just really, really cool. And now, like, I've been talking to him, and he's like, I'm so much happier today. I love the direction that my life is going in now because I trust God with all my heart, and it's cool. So it is not God's will for you to be anxious or depressed. So like this video, watch. I accidentally hit the pause button, so I'm going to say this. Watch it again, and share this video with somebody if you know who needs it. And be sure to subscribe and watch all the other videos that are in place for God's answers for anxiety. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.